Okay, my name is John Komar. I'm the director for the Automotive Centre of Excellence here at the University of Ontario Institute of Technology, and we're going to talk about the automotive industry as we're moving forward. So what we are is actually an independent research and development and testing house here for the automotive and other industries, actually 9 other industries as well. So we're actually a third-party, unbiased service provider as well as research and developer for automotive and automotive-related products, as well as, again, about nine different segments: green energy, defense, human factors, architectural, you name it. But we're going to talk about automotive in Ontario, maybe in Canada in general, automotive in general, for the city of Oshawa. Again, this doesn't reflect anything with respect to the University of Ontario, but I'll give you some insights perhaps where we're at, because in fact we are again dealing not only with large original equipment manufacturers like General Motors and some others, but we also deal with the tier 1, the suppliers. And those numbers that count for every assembly job, there's 6 on the outside or 7 on the outside and 12 in the other service industry. So you can understand automotive in Ontario, and especially certainly in the Oshawa region, is an essential part of the Canadian economy, but it's certainly an essential part of the regional economy. So what we have here is we basically have a slice of the high tech, or what's happening next in terms of the automotive industry. Now, I cannot speak specifically about customers and what they're doing, but I will speak in generalities in terms of what we do here first and where I see the automotive industry perhaps going, or potentially going, because if I knew it, then I probably wouldn't be standing in front of you. I'd be a very rich person, and I'd probably be retired. So what we do here is we have at the Automotive Centre of Excellence, I'll refer to it from this point as ACE, we have a heavy equipment area, heavy lab area, or a core research facility, and an integrated research and training facility that make up the Automotive Centre of Excellence. In this heavy lab area we have standing behind me, as you can see, it's just not a benchtop lab area. This is the one-of-a-kind tunnel. It is the most sophisticated climatic wind tunnel in the world here in Oshawa at the university. And it actually can throw winds of over 260 kilometers an hour. It's laminar flow, it's perfect flow, and it in fact can do cold to hot. So we're talking minus 40 Celsius to plus 60 Celsius, and above you'll see we actually have solar arrays. So we in fact can duplicate pretty well everything Mother Nature gives us at a perfect situation. And we can throw rain, sleet, snow, freezing rain, whatever the physical property, whether it's a vehicle or a large Class 8 truck or it doesn't matter if you're a paying customer. It's basically you have access here to a $100 million facility at short periods of time. So instead, as an industry now, you don't need to, if you need a climatic chamber or durability, but you don't need it for an entire year, you don't have to make those kinds of investments. So systemically from an operational standpoint for automotive here in Ontario, and as well as the U.S., as well as international, we provide a service that allows you to play with $100 million tools for days or maybe 100 hours at a time, rather than committing to 2,000 hours at a time. So we have a lot of industry here. So we have close to many OEMs and many tens of different customers, and we're hoping to build that base, and we're continuing to build that base, a stronger base of customers that can use this facility. And I call them customers or clients, because what they're doing is research and development. They're working collaboratively with the university or the colleges or with government, or they're working independently, and they'll work independently with government as well, doing advanced development work for their vehicles. So what are we seeing? This is a climatic wind tunnel. We also have very large climatic chambers, again, that have dynamometers that simulate roads, as well as solar arrays, as well as another chamber that, again, that does climatic. Climatic also means we control humidity. So we all know what a wet cold and a dry cold, or a wet hot or dry hot is, and it makes a difference when you're talking with plastics and metals and ceramics and different materials in vehicles or different products. We also do structural durability here, so we in fact have a climatic, what we call a four-poster, where we can literally simulate the road, or in fact we can actually give very high impact load. So it's a vertical up and down shaker. So we can go up to 19 Gs in there. So that's we get to run stuff till it breaks or until it squeaks or it rattles. We call it squeak and rattle in the business, but noise, vibration, harshness. We also have a semi-anechoic chamber that also has a multi-axis simulation table, and that's a 3D shaker. So we can take things and shake them in a very quiet environment, and then when they start to fatigue, we can determine where they're fatiguing. Certainly you do a lot of advanced work, and we can actually take that virtual work and bring it into reality. We can take that proof of concept and bring it into full-scale prototypes or full-scale market-ready products. Also in the hemianechoic chamber, and that's basically a soundproof chamber, it also allows us to do a lot of things with respect to the audio. So in fact, we don't necessarily have to use the table alone, we can use the chamber alone. On the other side, we have many stories of industrial lab on the 4th and 5th floor. We actually collaborate with our university researchers and industries, and they have a spot with industrial labs where they actually interact and do advanced research as well. And then we have support shops, of course, to support the whole area. So, with respect to the automotive, why is this important? Well, again, it's important because now people have great ideas, universities have great ideas, entrepreneurs have great ideas, and of course in Ontario we have excellence in manufacturing. So we can make anything. We've got a very robust automotive industry here. We've got great research and development, and what we do here is knit those two things together. We in fact knit the idea to production. So that was the missing link that we had here in Canada, and we are attracting not only Canadian but US business as well as international business. So instead of people leaving Canada, we've turned the wave the other way. So now we can get those concepts into full-scale models, proof of concepts in real-world conditions, and then out to market. And that's how we help industry here. What I've seen in terms of the automotive industry, and I'll comment, we are actually very poised to help anybody, anywhere from advanced internal combustion technology, and the trends that I'm seeing right now, of course, is doing everything you can with engines, and that's taking all the low-hanging fruits done. So now it's the advanced internal combustion, and the things like engine turn-offs, the hybrids, that's been done, but now it's taking it further and doing those engine calibrations, or doing the whole vehicle calibrations, in fact, and getting the most out of internal combustion engines. What I'm seeing a trend of course, is that diesel is also coming on board, not for large Class 8 vehicles, but we're also looking at diesels going into compact cars now. And all that integration, and of course all the things you need to do to meet the environmental as well as mileage targets that you have to do. And that kind of work all has to happen in a lab. It is done virtually, of course, but then at one point it has to meet the real world, and this is where we're at. We not only bring the outside in, we bring the inside out. So in fact, virtual to lab, we bring road to lab. And it is actually real world testing that we're actually doing. The other things we're seeing is for large vehicles is there isn't one technology right now that is going to lead the way. There is no silver bullet. I wish there was. Again, if I knew it, I'd be a very rich person. But in fact, there's a lot of technologies out there. And again, compressed natural gas, that's an alternative fuel. And that's going not only from vehicles, but it's also small vehicles, but it's going right up into the Class 8 trucks. In terms of hybrid technology can mean extended range hybrid, it can mean plug-in hybrid, it can mean regular hybrid. And of course the trend now is we need more out of the batteries and battery development and hybrid technology, and we are actually very well poised here. We have chargers, we have large amounts of electrical, we have the right climatic and support conditions to advance those kinds of technologies. And what I'm seeing is a lot more plug-in because people want to be able to charge it up and get a little bit more. You see a lot of extended range, like the Chevy Volt that you've seen in the advertisements, and there's other industries as well that are coming in terms of thinking, how do I work that technology? And of course electric is in the news as well. So we're talking about electric, but now electric, not only it's a pure electric, so it's not a hybrid. In fact, it is a pure electric vehicle. Range anxiety and range is where it's at. So the industry is at that anywhere from 120 to 160 kilometer range, and from, no, that was me, 100, and that's where consumers are a little dodgy. So what the industry wants to push to is that 300 or that 500 kilometer range. So electric vehicle development, there's still a lot of work, and this is the kind of place where you can get that work. And it's collaborating with colleges and universities and looking beyond the narrow and encouraging the actual broader view of that kind of researchers and institutions. This is what we do. We like to collaborate with world-class researchers, and we've got world-class researchers and we've got world-class colleges here, and that's what we can do here. We collaborate. The other trend, and that you don't hear a lot about, and it is still not dead, in fact, is hydrogen. And we're actually one of the few places in the world that can do fuel cell and hydrogen development here in this climatic wind tunnel. So we've got this very large 1,000 horsepower dynamometer matched with these solar lights, matched with this wind. We strap a vehicle down. We can actually, we're the only place in the world that can actually put a whole vehicle through its paces, full exhaust, engine and everything, and then turn it into the wind. So in fact we can simulate that cornering and things like that. We are the only place in the world that can do that. We do that through a lot of technology and a lot of innovation here. So again, so hydrogen fuel cells, we're talking 3 kinds of hybrids. We're talking diesel. Now diesel, in terms of the environmental, is always a concern, and there's always diesel, emissions fluids that now are additive, but those all have to be incorporated, not from the big trucks, but into the everyday vehicles that everybody uses today. And again, this is where we're poised to do it. The other thing is, when we're dealing with what we call thermal management, when you're developing vehicles, you know what, you'll never sell a vehicle that doesn't have air conditioning today. But you know what, if the air conditioning drives that mileage down, you're never going to sell a vehicle as well. And the heating and comfort is very important. So you have to be customer oriented regardless. And that is what we do a lot in a majority of the thermal management is what we call here. And actually developing the whole integrated system, so it's not just the engine that does it, it's the whole vehicle. How does it act? How does it manage keeping the customer, the engine, the battery, all those 3 systems actually comfortable? So that's thermal management. So that is a good part of our business here. So with respect to the Oshawa area, we're seeing people and entrepreneurs moving ourselves in. We're very well poised. We're a high-skilled area. I can't really comment. The only thing I see in the news with respect to the auto industry in Oshawa is what everybody else hears. I think the point to be made is that if you're not competitive, then you're out of the game. That's the point. It does, whether we have the government policies or whether we have support, which we do. We have research and support from the government that we can collaborate with industry. We come together, and if we can be technologically advanced and beat the competition, then it's up to us to provide the environment for the businesses, whether it's General Motors, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's whoever, Magna, or whoever the tier people are out there. We actually have to provide an environment that allows for the advancement so that we stay competitive. Quality is a given today. If you're not having a quality product, if you're not quality oriented, you will not be in the game. So that is a given now. It used to be back in the past, if you didn't win those JD Powers, you didn't win, You didn't win customers, but everybody expects the highest quality, so that's a given. So now you've got to beat them with product. You've got to make the best cars that people want to buy at a price they want to pay. So again, if I knew how to do all those things correctly, again, I wouldn't be sitting in front of this camera. What we do here is in fact facilitate. We facilitate industry, we facilitate research both in university and colleges to provide an environment that allow for the advancement of the technology that makes us the most competitive, and in fact that is a better way of guaranteeing the industry and the manufacturing and that kind of technology and that kind of industry stays in Ontario, stays in Oshawa. So I think that kind of wraps up my whole thoughts.
Okay, so I just have a couple of other questions. In
Sure.
terms of, you mentioned innovation. So different automotive industry brings up different stuff like, self-parking and,
Yes.
certain industry, certain automotive, they took the time to do the research, for example, not to mention particular, company, but Toyota is known for, their innovation, always trying to figure out and so forth. And so in terms of what you see right now, do you think innovation, even in the past, had really improved the auto industry, and that's the reason why some of them are still on their game?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. But again, like I said, you know what it is? It's having value. But you can see now. Take a look at you mentioned Toyota, but also take a look at General Motors. That the Volt was absolutely revolutionary, and it's standard. There's no range anxiety, and it's up for discussion in terms of where it could. Is it truly electric? Yeah, it's a pure electric vehicle. There's other manufacturers that are bringing extended range or plug-in type of hybrid technology. Every auto manufacturer that's in the game today is innovative. They can't be in the game and not be innovative. So you actually have to be at the top of that game. Some people come out sooner, a little bit later, whether I go pure electric like the Nissan, or whether I go extended range, or whether I go plug-in, whether like Toyota's got the various ranges of Prius and different and styles of hybrids. I think every auto manufacturer in that, I would call it, I really couldn't name them all. There's the big seven, right? There's the big three, and there's the four from overseas, the three Japanese, the one Korean, and of course we've got other, which is the highest technology from Europe coming in the luxury brands and the high Europeans, and they're pushing that technology. So I don't think you can be in the game today without having something innovative, because the market here in North America, especially in North America and in Europe, is mature. There isn't a lot of growth. There is some growth, but what you're doing is you're playing with those market shares. So it's a slow growth. It's not like in Brazil or Russia, India or China, in those regions that have exponential growth. Here the market is in fact very, very solid, but it is very mature and defined. So the only way you're going to advance is to be the best. And that's either you've got to hit on all three, right? You got to have mileage, you got to have comfort, you got to have price. But it's great to hit on all, or you can hit on one, or you can have luxury and innovation. It's where they're determining their segments are.
In terms of the business aspect, I mean, the customer's needs has to be responded to. But in terms of business aspect, do you think not only innovation, the marketing aspect also helps? Because I mean, as you said, in Europe they're creating, different products that they're trying to push.
That's great in terms of in our age of persuasion, so to speak. You can't push a product. There's no such thing as pushing a product in terms of automotive anymore. There's no such thing. You can't push a vehicle on. You can't guilt anybody into buying anymore. And actually, from a very heavy engineering and testing and development side, but now in terms of running the entire business and the overall business that I'm working with, not only in product but actually in the marketing end as well as for the automotive sense, I've got a huge respect for marketing, I must admit. A newfound respect in terms of finding those customers, and I think it's a better approach where you match your customers up and you match the needs, and you can actually match those needs with the customers and sell that product. Because you know what, if you push a product on somebody, they'll buy it once but never return. But it's that value added, it's that loyalty, and there isn't a lot of loyalty. There's another point in marketing today. People are going to buy a GM, they're going to buy a Toyota, they're going to buy a Nissan, they're going to buy a Volkswagen. You know what? And they're not. And the newer generations that are coming in are not going to be this truck person or this car person. What you're seeing is a lot of movement in the market. So that provides extra challenges for marketing. So it's no longer that loyalty, but in fact, what am I giving you today in the market that is meeting the needs today, and yesterday I had it for you, today I want to keep you, but it's more I need to have you. And with respect to the automotive industry and testing and development and industry, I think that can extend not only from product but into processes and services and deliveries. But in fact, you actually have to be the best, and you actually have to understand that customer more, and that's where the marketing comes in. The marketing is to understand where the need is, provide the need at a value proposition.
In terms of customers and how they, get interacted with marketing and so forth, do you think not only innovation or marketing, do you think there's other factors like maintaining the customer, like having incentives and different little things that will thrive the company?
Yeah, absolutely. With respect, and I'm going to give you our business here. Our business is we deal with customers and clients. And they come, and of course we're a new business. We've only been in operation, we're in our second year now, a full operation. And what we're seeing now is what we call a repeat customer. Why do we have repeat customers? Because we actually attend to the needs that they're after. So in fact, what we're after now is maturing that relationship. Excuse me. I should have had this off, my apologies. What we're talking about is maturing that relationship and providing the needs. So what do we provide that other research and development and test houses don't provide? And it's that customer interaction. Our ability, we know this place from basement to ceiling to every bit of control function, and a lot of development is out of the box, but a lot of it is out of the box, and we're able with our engineers and our technicians to make these kinds of test houses sing. We can change out of that range. They ask for a different development where in fact, can we do this? Can we run faster temperature down? Can we run the dynamometer out of sync with the wind? Can we change the way the normal machine works, the normal stove, so to speak, works? And the answer is yes, and we do. And we here are able to customize to the customers and needs, whereas other places may not go that extra mile or may not have the flexibility or the knowledge or the skill that allows them to do it. And in fact, that has attracted a lot of customers because now we can do innovative things. We not only do automotive, we've done the production industry. We've done things where we simulated the ice storm. We've for production companies, we've done earthquake simulations. We've done all different kinds of things for human factors, or for ventilation, or for green energy, residential windmills, for solar energy. The fact that we are able to use and leverage our expertise to make these things do more than they were designed to do gives us that edge.
In terms of students, there's a lot of students who are benefiting from A's, and the engineer student, Durham College, UOIT students. Are they doing an internship here, or is that part of their program? How do the students get involved? I mean, government have done a great job, helping run a place like this.
Well, they gave us the opportunity to build. It was up to us to run it. So we're fully independent. But what we do here is several legs. It's more than a three-legged stool here, actually. There are many legs to this table or this foundation, or many bricks to this foundation. How's that? With respect to Durham College, we in fact are part of the technology programs, both in mechanical and electrical, and we have a regular group of students 365 days a year that are coming in here, and they are mentored by engineers and technicians, and it's on a 1 day a week basis that we've currently worked out with really top-notch students. So I imagine the competition's fierce to get in here, but they do real development. They're actually junior engineers or apprenticeships, and mentored by real world industry experience and professional engineers and licensed technicians. We also have UOIT engineering students on staff. We have it all year round, part-time of course, because it's full-time school, but also we provide the internships during the summer as well, full-time. And they are doing everything that's expected of engineering, and they have special projects. So in fact, we have a group of students that unfortunately, and it's just the nature of education, we get some people, we have them, and then they're gone, and we miss them. And we apprentice other people, and they move on, and they get good, and we lose them. So from our standpoint, and we have over 250 years of engineering and technological experience here at the Automotive Center of Excellence, all coming from industry, and in fact, so it's a little bit different for us. So we always have this constant flow. We also provide guest lectures, we provide tours, we provide workshops, and that is starting to grow a little bit bigger as well. We have an undergraduate automotive lab that we're setting up now. We provide opportunities for the student clubs, and we bring that broad range. Now, from a graduate study standpoint as well, we provide through their research and the research opportunities on a project-by-project basis. We support collaborative projects with industry. And so with the academics and the professors, we have a joint project with industry, and they're hiring 2, 3, 4, 5 students, undergraduates, doctoral candidates, master's students. And we currently have completed over 14 projects, and when you do the kind of like the multiplication of 2 or 3, 4, all of a sudden you're getting hundreds of actual graduate research doing work in the integrated research and training facility, as well as right here in the core research facility. And these people are getting, actually, I'll give you an example of a recent project we did here with aerodynamics crosswind development. And here you had 3 or 4 students and the professors working with us, staff, instrumenting vehicles, they do all the virtual and theoretical work, but then they actually have to come and instrument and develop those models and correlate those models and see, in fact, if they're predictive and how it's working. So in fact, they're getting something they can't get anywhere else in the world, because they get to work right here in the garages and the wind tunnels and have time. So you see that starts to broaden out. So you're here on this site here in Oshawa, whether you're UIT or Durham, whether you're in this program, and in fact you don't have to even be in engineering or technology. We work with the health sciences and human factors, kinesiology, things like that. Human factors engineering, because in fact we can provide any environment, from freezing cold to hot, to you want to do development and professional development of professional people in survival gear, or command centers that get dropped down and they've got to work anywhere from Dubai to the Arctic. We can do those kinds of studies and human factor studies here as well. So it's not just engineering technology, it's everybody that needs a place to do research and development.
Well, in terms of not only students are able to benefit from ACE, but also and also cars, but also there's the production aspect. Could you touch a little bit how that kind of works in terms of different companies coming here, like movie productions? I've seen a couple of YouTube videos.
Okay, in terms of production, yeah, movie production is kind of like a Hollywood North. They provide. We can do anything. You need snow. You know what? Just get a click of a button, they'll give you snow. When you need a hurricane, you need that, we can do that. We can simulate earthquakes. We can provide different environments in that respect. But from let's talk about production in terms of the production of research and development and testing. We have over a shift and a half here sold out. And we're adding new customers all the time, which means you've got to get in and got to get out. And I talked about that value proposition. The customers that come in have to be prepped in behind. We are actually at times shuffling 5 different customers in 5 different cells at the same time and keeping all the security. Every cell is secure. Everything happens with training. We are, in fact, a controlled site in terms of defense work as well. So we provide our customers safety, overriding priority. We provide security, and we provide innovation and flexibility in the way we do things here as well. This is a place where they come in and they need to do their work. They need to get in, do their work, and get out, and feel they got value for what they had here, because we can run anywhere from $250 an hour up to $1,600 an hour. So we're talking, we have to be coordinated, we have to be production oriented. We actually have to understand what the customer needs, get the product, get their results, and get them out. So we need on-time, real-world delivery of data, of results, of product, whatever we're doing.
Okay, well, you know what? Thank you so much. I'm so glad I'm having a conversation with John Komar. My name is Cade LaRen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.